G'day, my name's Gordon Dedman and welcome to another episode of Bushcraft Survival. Today we're going to be having a look at the native bulrush, or greater reed mace. Its Aboriginal name is Cumbungi, but it is also known in North America as the cattail. We're going to be looking at where to find it, how to harvest it, and how to cook it. The bulrush, or greater reed mace, could be considered as a supermarket of the bush, as the plant has a variety of uses. The strap-like leaves were used by Aboriginal people to make baskets and for cordage making. The dried dead stalks, although difficult, can be used as a hand drill for friction fire lighting. The fluffy down from the dead sausage-like seed spikes can be used as a tinder to help start your fire. The pollen from the yellow seed spikes is very high in protein and can be added to dampers and other unleavened breads. And probably the most valuable part of the bulrush are the underground roots or rhizomes. These are literally packed full of starch and carbohydrates and make a very tasty, nutritious meal. In order to harvest the underground rhizomes, unfortunately it means you need to get your feet wet. And what I'm looking for after we identify the plant correctly, I'm going to follow that down, actually this one's a better one, right down to the bottom. And what I'm doing, I'm feeling around for the bottom and I'm just going to pull that up. And what this is, these are joined all along the bottom in like a big labyrinth of roots and rhizomes, and they're all joined together. Well, that one didn't come out well, that one actually broke off. We'll try again. Come over here. So I'm digging down, trying to find where these lead. Takes a bit of knack. Once you've got the hang of it, different sort of soils mean that sometimes they're easy to pull out. This has got quite a bit of sand in it. Actually, it's caught up amongst some tree roots here. That's what we're after. You can see the underground rhizome joining all these together. And if we were to trace this along, if we could actually get at it, because the ground's actually quite difficult to get them out here, these would be all linked together. And it's this rhizome linking them together which is packed full of starch and carbohydrates. We can also eat the shoot here, the leek-like shoot. We just need to make sure if the water's dirty, contaminated in any way, but we brush that off and clean it first. But if the water's nice and clean and this water's pretty good, you could actually eat that straight away. These can be eaten raw or cooked, but they taste delicious when they're cooked. And there's a few different ways you can actually cook these, and we're going to have a look at how we do that. So what we need to do, just to give you a look at this, I'm going to cut this section of the rhizome off, and as we can see, all that white section in there is starch, so you can get a better look. That spongy type white material is all carbohydrate, and that's the energy value in these. And we're getting, particularly when we put these on the fire, it almost caramelizes. It's actually beautiful. So what we're going to do, we're just going to cut, give that a dunk in there. Just cut off some of the excess roots, all that section there. And we can add this section here to boiling water or stew. And that's going to give us a good vegetable content. Whoop, got some eels in there. A good vegetable content to our meal. I'll clean up a few more of these. You can also see these growing buds here. Get one of those off. You can clean that up, and they are particularly high in carbohydrates, all the growing tips, so they're excellent. I'm just going to go ahead and clean these up and take that back to camp and cook them up on the fire. Probably the simplest way of cooking the rhizomes is, once you've got them and washed them off, we just stick them straight on the fire, just like that. And what we're going to do is wait for them to blacken. When they're completely black, they're done and they're good to eat. Okay, these are about done now. They're black. They look like they're little sticks, charred sticks, but actually they're right to go. So I'm going to take them straight off. I've got a pair of gloves. And over there. I'm just going to let those cool down a bit and we'll hook in. Now, in order to eat these, it doesn't look like much, but all we do is we just bite into the side. You can see this long, stringy, fibrous type stuff, which is the starch. I just pull it out with my tooth, and I literally suck off the carbohydrate. It's not going to win any awards at a restaurant doing it this way, but I can assure you. Tastes really nice. Sand in that one. You can see the carbohydrate in there. Actually, this could be cooked a bit more, believe it or not. We're now going to cook up our bulrush, which we've cut up, and we're going to boil it in our pot, along with another wild edible I've collected. This is known as warrigal greens or New Zealand spinach, and Captain Cook, when he first arrived here, actually used to use this as a preventative measure against scurvy, because it actually contains quite a bit of vitamin C. And we cooked this up just as we would spinach. And Captain Cook actually took this back to England with him. And we're going to put that together, and as well I've caught a couple of bream. So we're going to stick the bream in our camp oven, fry them up, and we're going to boil these two up together, and we've got the makings of a very nice, nutritious meal. Well, here we have a meal entirely from the bush. We have our boiled up bulrush or greater reed mace. We have some warrigal greens, and we have a couple of bread. And the proof is in the tasting. Absolutely delicious. Beautiful. It doesn't get any fresher than that. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode on the native bulrush and where to find it, how to harvest it, and how to cook it. My name's Gordon Dedman, and I look forward to seeing you again on another episode of Bushcraft Survival.